iTunes named him the best new artist, and he has just been winning accolades worldwide. His name is Mishka, and he joins us here. Mishka, thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
You know, it's not your first time here in Park City. You know, you're getting to become somewhat of a regular, but you know, it's nice to have you here in the springtime instead of the winter.
Yeah, first time I've seen these hills. Well, actually, I was here. The first time I came here was, I think it was May or June, but it snowed. So,
yeah, well, that's pretty typical.
That's elevation for
typical for Utah. And you know, does the snow bother you? You know, born and raised, you know, spent most of your time out on the ocean. You know, growing up on a boat. Probably not too many mountains, at least snow-capped mountains.
No. It doesn't bother me, but I don't choose to live in it. So. Visiting is okay, you know.
Yeah. So you grew up, as I said, on a boat. Parents of, as you described them, hippies. You know. How did you just, you know, was music just always part of your life, you know, with all that time sailing the seas?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think where most kids would have been watching TV, we didn't have one, so it was the tape recorder, you know, so just listening to a lot of tapes, whatever my parents listened to growing up on the boat, you know, so it was, I spent a lot of time listening to music and really, you know, penetrating the message and you know, the musical content. So. And
thankfully for us, they were big reggae fans. And you know, is there a certain?
They weren't actually. I became more of a reggae fan as I got older and discovered that I can go and get my own music. You know,
yeah. So you know, is there a song that then you can't hear anymore because it just reminds you of listening to the same, you know, tape that you had to listen to, you know, 400 times because that was all you had on board?
No, because the funny thing is I don't have a lot of that music now, you know, so when I hear it, it's really nostalgic, you know, so.
Now, talk a little bit about this new album, Talk About. We heard the title track was the first song you played.
Yeah, so it's brand new, came out in March. It's a collection of songs that I wrote over the last 2 or 3 years, pretty much. And, yeah, it's really... It's a piece of work I'm really happy with, you know, as far as the whole sound of it and.
What's different about this?
It's more of a cohesive piece of music. I think, being that it was we recorded the whole thing in quite a short period of time. You know, a collection of songs and one group of musicians that worked on the whole thing all the way through. So, whereas other projects that I've worked on has been different session players coming and going. And it's happened over a series of months. So it's more of, I think it's more of a time, you know, where we recorded it. So it has a more of a cohesive energy that way, and it's a little more up tempo, some of the songs, than like my first album was very acoustic, laid back kind of thing. So this one is a little more dancey kind of, you know. It's reggae vibe still, but you know, just a little up the tempo, you know. So. And
tonight you're going to be playing at the Star Bar here in Park City with the full band. So get a chance to get out there and move on the dance floor.
Most definitely, yeah. It's myself and 4 other musicians. So.
All right. Well, that should be a great show. And now, before I let you go, you know, we get a lot of musicians here, but we don't get a lot of musicians that now have their own clothing line. You know, especially you know, you don't necessarily look like your typical you know, fashion icon. How did this partnership with O'Neill come about?
Well, I happened to meet the CEO of the company. I was playing a benefit party, you know, and he really liked the music, and we started talking, and he realized I was really big into windsurfing and, you know, the whole water sport kind of lifestyle. And yeah, he just kind of put 2 and 2 together and he sent me an email. He's like, would you like to, you know, sort of help us with, and, you know, through the message of what I'm singing about and really, you know, the lifestyle that, you know, trying to live in the crazy system that we're sort of drenched in is, you know, ecologically conscious, you know, so they're launching a product that's, you know, recycled fabrics, organic fabrics and stuff like that. And so you know, it's just sort of a natural happening, you know.
Yeah. So I would imagine then, as someone who grew up on the water and on the ocean, this current situation down in Gulf of Mexico, pretty disturbing.
It's devastating, you know. It's like. But I think hopefully it's an indication and a wake up to people, you know, as so many disasters are. But, you know, I mean, it's an indication of our greed, you know, and and insistence on using oil instead of converting to, you know, renewable sources of energy. So I really hope people will wake up, and I guess people are really gonna feel the crunch, you know, the fishermen and you know, the people, you know, the shrimp boats and all that is really gonna be affected really badly down there. But you know, I was watching a thing the other day on TV, and I see that the whole, because of the flow of the currents, it's gonna really pollute a lot of the Atlantic. It's not just the Gulf, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, we have to really know our limitations as human beings, you know, and just leave certain things alone, you know. Like,
Indeed. All
yeah,
right,
so-
Mishka, thank you so much for coming in. It's a pleasure having you.
Yeah,
if people want more
respect.
information on you, where do they go online?
Yeah, Mishka.com or MySpace /4Mishka.
Okay.
Yeah, you can find my music there and bio and all that stuff.
All
so.
right, fantastic. Thanks so
Yeah.
much for coming in.
Man, it's a pleasure.
You can see Mishka tonight at the Star Bar right here in Park City. Carlos Cornea, another frequent visitor to this stage, will be the opening act. We've got more to come. Stay tuned.